up, they wanna package this. Pray for peace, pacifist, I'm never old enough to give a push notice.
I think one of the notable players on that roster is Hazanator. He did play in the previous game before for Yessirski. He's actually on Spirit Academy. He's kind of their sixth man. It gets rotated in and out of different iterations of their roster. If it's on Nuke or Vertigo, I know that he definitely played for them in that Spirit Academy roster. So he's a up and coming talent, and he's quite a scary prospect for the Prodigies to be facing up against.
Yeah, 58 ADR I think is what he posted at the minute on ESEA as far as this team's concerned. But as you said, quite rightfully, this isn't the only team he plays for. You know, he's in Spirit Academy as well also. So he's definitely going to be posting some good stats and good figures as far as this matchup is concerned. Looks like we are going to jump straight into gameplay though, and Prodigies on CT. We see them already starting to develop that mid push that we've kind of grown to expect from them early on in pistol rounds. But the hit's going to happen on B site. Take it away, B-Dog.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Nolan with the immediate trade out with the dual Berettas. It looks like Yessirski have got good control over towards the bomb site, but they're getting a little bit overzealous. Straxy will take one to the grave with him. SBT on the quick rotation. That bomb, it has been planted, but it's still a 3 versus 2.
Still definitely recoverable here from Prodigies. Just it depends on that initial pick that they can receive, or goes the opposite direction, however, and just like normal, Caster Curse kicks in, and Yessirski managed to clear up all 3 picks, one after another.
Yeah, nice little off-plant recoverable situation for Yessirski. Made sure that even though they were trying to concede some of the players away when they did put the bomb down, see there was quite a little bit of over peaking here. When they do settle into these crossfires, it does get the job done. Good start from this T side of the Prodigies. It looks like they are going to force back into things. We've got a scout on TVS as well.
Yeah, TVS has been something to behold at the minute with Orban Scout, to be completely honest. Should expect big things from him. He starts things off with a massive kill there on Teleri. Doesn't quite connect on the second, but Straxy's there to give him that support. That knocks Vert out of the fight, and Straxy's there for another straight after again. Elsewhere, Nolan chimes in with a frag of his own against N0.
Yeah, looks pretty good. It's just Skillos left with that Mac 10 just creeping his way down in towards middle. Has spotted one player, but the issue is that C4 is so far removed, and with the Prodigies fast encroaching on that position, it feels like only a matter of time before he's removed from the equation as well. FNK will secure it. The Prodigies force back, and they come up trumps in a big way.
Yeah, really good run from Prodigies. I mean, you tend to find that immediate buy-in into the second round after pistol loss. You know, it can go one or two ways, right? You can either really cement yourself quite nicely into your following rounds afterwards and win that, like we've just seen them outperform Yessirski as far as long he's concerned, or you can have a bit of a nightmare and then all of a sudden you're backed into a corner as far as eco after eco. But well performed from Prodigies, and straight into the next one with some upgraded weapons as well.
Yeah, just the Deagles for this T side. They've got good control out towards mid, though. Already creeping their way forward up towards long. That bomb will be joining in hot pursuit. So, although they are on the lesser weaponry, it could be a quicker attack here over towards short. TVS has to try and contend this on his own for the moment with this AK-47.
Should be good for that first initial pick. It's just dependent on how quickly they're going to steamroll afterwards. The jump peak happens, and just as it does, he gets scouted out of that round immediately. there is a lot of utility damage actually. Another grenade will pop off as well. That does a bit more damage and chips away just that little bit more onto a number of different players there from Yessirski. They do get the plant, but there is a retake that happens into this round. SBT and FNK kind of sharing the wealth as far as kills at the minute. Straxi's there to help things out from long. Oh, nasty one tap there from Vert onto FNK, but he's not for this world for much longer, and you will fall in the end.
Yeah. Oh, that molly is spreading. That's fine. There's enough time. There's a kit on Straxi. Crisis averted. Prodigies will convert. It's a good round overall for that T side, though. Despite having the lesser weaponry, they do secure that bomb plant as well. And if I'm not mistaken, Steve, I think we can have a little bit of an insight into what's going on in the Prodigy camp. Let's hear what the comms have to say.
Keep money for up.
Leave long if they fully take it.
I'll flash long.
Just,
You want to know?
Or you want me to peek?
I took one.
you can pick, I can flash or you go pick.
Let's pushing suicide too.
I'm only mid.
Three shadow.
They flash mid, careful shot, guys.
I have short.
I had nothing long.
I'm blocking mid. Playing on here.
They didn't push short.
I smoke B. Playing window.
I'm gonna play.
I still
You
have
can play
long.
B side, Naren, okay? I will play from door.
Hold on, I'm molly deep. He
Out
can
on
take
mid one. They cross the swing mid to B. Be ready to fight Naren. I
Go
flash.
me to be.
Okay.
I'm leaving long.
Going window.
Yeah,
You
mid to
can
B.
go down.
Mid to B everywhere.
Just save. Go save. Let's go long.
Watch out doors.
Or you okay? You can stay TVS front and over, sure.
Okay. One dead.
Nice.
One more picking. Same angle. Unlock. What angle? CT deep. Okay. Outside mid. Like a flash CT? You want?
I will take the up. Yeah, flash.
Flashing there.
Dead.
Unlock that. Long, long! What the fuck?
Where is dope?
I don't know, car.
I got it. I got it.
Bit of a frantic round there, B-Dog, in fairness. Yessirski do commit to the push in the end. They will pick up the 2 initial entries there to get themselves into B site, but there's some good kills after bomb plant, realistically, and that's, you know, money well earned, essentially, from Prodigies at this point.
I was about to compliment SBT's movement and his positioning towards that round, because there was contact felt in towards middle. He fell all the way back towards B doors, set up with a flash, but ultimately when they double swang, the Deagles just came out on top. And that's the way it goes sometimes. Yessirski showing why they are competing at this highest level at ESEA Intermediate. Back out with the bye are the Prodigies, albeit a little bit of a just a complicated one. FNK goes 1-for-1 up towards short, but meanwhile, Yessirski are taking good ground towards mid doors.
Yeah, they can really envelop through double doors as well. I mean, realistically speaking, we've seen them push towards that B site and make good ground on your B site holders that are looking down towards that mid control. I wanted to also compliment the boost. I've not actually seen that boost in quite some time, actually, inside of B side. Towards the end of that last round, but never mind, we're on to this round nonetheless, and Zero will pick up Nolan. He's caught off guard there. Bomb is still making its way into the B side. There's going to be a crossfire scenario here, and Vert will come out the better there onto SBT.
Straxi will find one in towards mid doors. 2 versus 3. Make that a 2 versus 2. Quick shot from TVS, but the HP of the Prodigies is quite low, and the bank balances are quite thin as well. B-bomb site notoriously quite a difficult one to try and retake. It looks like they are going to try and give it a little bit of a go, though. Utility being lined up. Potentially. See Straxi holding that flashbang, primed and ready to try and set TVS up for success. In fact, it goes through the doors, but Madara's good for the spray, and Zero peeks out behind backplat, and Yessirski take the lead.
really well worked around from Yessirski, getting themselves into site control. Post-plant position is just perfect as far as B-site is concerned. And as you said, it's notoriously difficult to retake, especially if you've got a T-side that are wedged in so deep into that site as well. Also, they've got good, good lanes of fire, essentially, and good arcs of fire. But we see this highlight replay coming back here, and yeah, it's a good round from Yessirski. Prodigy's now looking to commit on that commit to this mid push. They'll get one for their troubles, but SBT drops to the AK in the end, and they're still kind of stacked up onto mid. At the moment, a little bit of loss of direction, trying to figure out which avenue they want to start to make their way towards. They'll recover the AK at the top of mid. Still continuing to progress on this push, but Leary's there, and he's good for 2. Gets FNK and TVS straight away back to back. Gets Straxy as well also, and it's left. Well, it was left in Nolan, but Skill Meow took him out before we could even finish that sentence. Let's jump back into another comms round though, B-Dog. I want to hear what the team have to say. Well, curse to the commentator, B-Dog. I don't know if you saw my tweet the other day. We did the Beyond Invitational, and pretty much every single round I called something on, curse to the commentator hit me for the entirety, like the first map of Grand Finals, and it seems to be happening again. We're in a pause for a few seconds here, so we'll wait for that to finish off, and then we'll jump into a comms round for you.
Just smoke while running Strax instead of molly, so you can keep the molly, yeah. Smoke, I do the shadow flash. If they flash, you flash to TVS. And if they don't flash,
I don't molly, I will smoke.
we go back after.
Hey, boosting right side.
Flashing.
Yeah, smoking drugs. Careful
No
short,
one.
guys.
No one.
Okay, let's go together.
careful
So
short.
Careful short.
Okay, I'm going to short.
One lower close already.
Going back mid.
Yeah, come in. They are close mid. Short, close.
Short.
White short, dead one.
One more, one.
I'm molly.
Molly deep.
One Xbox, one. I'm
I
on
can flash with him, guys, after molly.
He threw. Swing. He's dead.
Nice.
one
One
still.
more.
So, I'm flashing.
Molly
Turn
right
around.
side.
Boom.
He's off holding. I'm going close.
close shot.
They have one more
I
flash.
was in there.
One lower.
Swinging,
Right, he's close. Right
I
side.
went down.
I'm dead on mid.
Being to short.
One short.
Dead short, yes.
Dead.
Pump is down, double rush.
Yeah. Bomb was down, like here.
Yep.
He took it.
He might be held.
Nice, Sherman.
Well, feels like in that round, just completely eluded the Prodigies a little bit. That was a 3 versus 5 that was suddenly converted back into a Yessirski round. It was like the timing just was a little bit unfortunate in that 1 versus 1, but good work from the AWP to secure. You're talking about casting curses. I'm self-sabotaging myself sometimes by muting these microphones. Battle out down towards long. TVS this time can't find anything with the dual Berettas, and in fact, a Bison will enter the kill feed.
There's the first for everything in Inters. I mean, Bison. Oh, I think I've seen one at all this season. That we've seen him run away with it. A 2-piece for the Bison. He's not going to get the third, however. Nolan's good for 1, but Leary's there to finish that round off, and 6 on the board for Yessirski. Yeah, self-sabotage, mate. I've been there. I know exactly what you're referring to. It happens to us all at some point, right?
What I was saying though is I was saying, looking at the player cams, I was hyping up the jerseys, and I was saying how cool do they look. And I also said thank you to the sponsors. So I also got this opportunity to, whilst they are on the screen, thank you to the sponsors for the Prodigy project this season around. Love to see it. Guns back out for the CT side. Aggression favours Yessirski. We've seen a Bison, now we've seen a Krieg. Gets finds the opener over towards Straxy. Leary peeking down in towards mid. Good ground, being covered up long by the Prodigies, and suddenly all the kills are for this CT side in the feed.
Not seen Leary miss a shot so far this map, and all of a sudden he just drops 3 shots back to back, and none of them seem to do any kind of damage or connection. But good placement there. Nolan pushes himself up towards mid, clears out the danger man in the open. Yeah, it's now a 1v4, now 1v3, and Madara shouldn't be long for this world, but it depends on positions and placements from the Prodigies at the moment. And TVS is going to be the first point of contact to fulfill that bit of an early mission. Doesn't connect on the first shot, nor the second, but Nolan's there to help him out in the end, and that's 3 on the board for Prodigies. Bit of a shaky end towards the end of that round, though, B-Dog. Yessirski not really performing well on mid and dropping shots, as we said a few moments ago, but TVS is good for a few at least.
Yeah, they look pretty good, but I'm interested to hear what the Prodigies have to say again, because they did convert that round. Can they do it consecutively? Let's find out and jump in.
Yeah, throw a lot of nades, we go back.
He right side up.
You can molly blue.
He's picking.
Go back.
I'm going back towards, I'm going back here.
I got shot.
Can you push me side?
Yeah.
Nothing
Push
shot,
me
you can
push
take
me
shot, guys.
I have your shot.
Yeah, I'll hold
You
the
can go
long
flash
from here.
shot.
Straxy, give me your smoke, so I can re-smoke for TVS when needed for simple.
I'm gonna leave short info, guys.
It's okay, I have short.
I can go towards mid then.
You got mid, Straxy?
Yeah, I can take it.
He can be right side, not in the guy.
They molly
yeah,
car.
Okay, I will molly. Let's take info together.
I can do magic flash for you.
Wait.
They smoke
smoke.
close.
Go close.
Only
Wait,
one
wait,
smoke.
tell you.
Maybe they boost
They
our
can't
smoke.
cross.
Hey,
Yeah,
flash?
yeah,
Flash?
I might have.
Boom.
They could sneak behind
see
the
nothing.
smoke.
Okay, leave you.
I'm
Just
holding
leave
the
me.
boost.
Don't see short. Long short.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, they
boosting.
crossed it long.
No one thinks dead.
Careful lurker on mid.
I didn't see lurk.
Should be cross.
They
Nate
go
here,
away.
Nate here, guys. We can
More
use
than
them.
mid. Yeah, I'm
I'm
taking.
taking on the
Planting. One side.
Nothing lower.
On top
Peeking.
of one.
He's top of side.
Top of box.
I got you to Let's try and flash.
Volleying.
Gonna boost.
I'm
Come
wait,
boost.
I'm
I flash for
flashing
you,
ramp.
guys.
Flashing ramp for you.
Flashing
Flashing
your
ramp.
Okay, do it.
Flashing ramp there.
Let's shot.
He's dead, one long. Left
I
side
got
up, left side. He's left side.
Goose.
Goose and left side up.
I'm gonna fight. Get good.
Nice left
Just
side up,
defuse.
left.
I'm diffusing.
Big
Try
no
to push
Straxy.
him. Push him.
Nice.
Nice.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
Holy shit.
Could be one more by now because of plant. Watch out. Could also be half.
I give you second op if you want SVT.
Yeah,
Very-
wait. I can buy it.
Thanks.
I can buy it.
Okay, wait.
Good recovery there from Prodigies. In the end, after the plant was put through from Yessirski, post-plant position is not really ideal for A, but as you've mentioned previously, it is relatively the more easier site to retake from a CT perspective. Some shaky holds there, but it falls in favour of Prodigies in the end there, B-Dog.
Yeah, what I pick up from the comms is how decisive it was, right? FNK does find that opener over towards long, but going back to the previous, it's very much established. Okay, we're doing this set flash for you, here exactly where the players are, and they isolate the gunfights perfectly. Even with that defuse coming in, you can still see the jiggle over towards CT, making sure that AWP can't really ever feel secure in trying to deny that defuse. Really good round from the Prodigies. Double AWP setup now off the back of recovering one from Vert. Even with the man up, FNK on this elevated position towards middle should be good for a couple of kills.
Such mammoth damage there with the frag. In fairness, FNK does exactly what you need to do in that sort of position. You've done a little bit of tap damage, you haven't secured a kill. Okay, re-peek off the back of it, but let's get a grenade in there first to get that utility damage. It's all the patience game at the minute for Kilos as he tries to secure a frag onto long A, but Straxy's just jiggle peeking left and right, kind of calling him out, more or less. Come and see me if you want it. But him and FNK kind of share the wealth of the frags on long A in the end, and that round again goes in favour of Prodigies.
There's been a few moments in this game where you see players catching timings on the jiggles in the previous as well. even though TVS was holding for that boost by the long smoke. They're just doing it slightly to his right-hand side, and I feel like the Prodigies have been a little bit unlucky in some of these scenarios. However, they've done incredibly well to even up the scoreline. Pretty much, right? It's just up with the Tech 9s.
Exactly.
Should be a formality here for the CT side.
Seen some very good eco pushes come through from teams against Prodigies in previous matchups. Don't imagine this would be much different the way that Yessirski been playing so far in this first half. Good utilities just to begin with. SBT still with that ult. Managed to connect onto 2, not 1, but 2 there off the back. It gets a third just as the smoke pops. He's looking for more if he can get it. TVS has got the cover on mid. Sort of, at least. Anyway, he drops that first shot and he's punished for it by Majarin. FNK's there to recover the frag, however, and it's left to Leary at a 1v4.
Should be all said and done, though. Oh, we're holding for the mid doors cross, and there is that Prodigies round that we promised you. That scoreline is now 6-6. They survive those eco pushes that have previously troubled them in the past. See the replay come in as well. Look at these shots from SBT.
Perfectly lined. Look at that. That last one, something naughty, to be fair. FNK, though, showing you can do it. Let's see if we can hear FNK again in this comms round.
They smoke Xbox.
No,
Scout,
it's orange smoke.
it's kinda shit. One scout suicide.
Careful the boost inside lower. Short.
I'm
Go short.
That's long.
Short. Up. I'm Oli. Go
They
for
can
back.
have long, they can have long.
We leave
Don't
short.
see short. I'm flashing mid.
Yeah, we're
One tunnel pushing, his half, 2
I have
tunnels.
B.
Are you flash? Are you? Flashing
Not
B.
pushing yet.
I'm watching mid.
His half.
They mollied me.
One
He's
is
out.
mid.
Yeah, his side.
I
He's
flash.
box.
One is
Two
mid.
guys.
Takes box and the left side box.
Watch window, guys, please. Just smoke
I'll
that.
watch window, I'll watch window.
Okay, we can.
Seriously?
Holding window, holding window.
Chill, guys. You have nades. One is low.
Let's go. Let's swap. Taxi. Swap. Give me your util as well. Just keep your flash. Keep your flash.
Yeah.
I will molly enter window. I will molly
And-
car.
You can molly platform
And I will
TVS.
Yeah, and I can flash you window. That one, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Wait,
ready.
I will smoke
Did
chill.
I? Okay, flash. Okay, I'm ready. Flash again.
Wait.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Two
Calm
mollies.
Molotov.
I
Wait,
smoke.
wait.
Go molly team.
Molotoving. Yeah.
Flash.
Flashing now.
Takes
That's
box.
One mid.
Tunnel.
Big back fast.
Nice.
Good job,
Good
boys.
job.
Oh my god.
Retake with double orb, man. Let's go.
Let's fucking go, bro.
Yeah, buy again the double up and kill, destroy them.
Nice util. Nice util, guys. I buy it.
Good job.
I'm gonna go heavy.
You hear it right at the end, right? Nice util. Exactly what they needed. The flashbang, we saw it as the observer caught it perfectly. Full blind, Yessirski gets a little bit difficult on low HP, but the numbers game favoured the Prodigies, and they will take the lead back 7-6. Double AWP retained as well for the defence.
Easily one of my favourite sides to watch at the minute for the amount of utility usage we get out of Prodigies. They love getting those grenades, those timings perfect with them. You know, they love that retake without peeking in dry. It's wonderful to watch. FNK is DPO down mid, but Molly will actually burn through the entirety of Lost Meow. FNK swings out deep, gets one on deferred, but Leary's good for the refrag off the back of it. Gotta be known that he's low HP. There is some connecting shots that have happened. TVS good for the first. He's looking for a second if he can get it. He will indeed. And it's left to Leary, a familiar position that he's been in for quite a number of rounds here, B-Dog, and he'll fall in the end.
Yeah, it feels like towards the back end of this first half, the Prodigies have really kind of sussed out the game plan from Yessirski. It's putting aggressive pressure into one area of the map. If they get the kill, they're just going to accelerate and capitalise upon it. And when it falls into the CT's favour, when that kill and the man advantage is collected by the Prodigies, Yessirski have a really difficult time at recovering the situation. Same issue again. The double AWPs will chime out for a couple of kills in towards mid. And Yessirski, they're just trying to filter their way out towards long. Draxi is here holding. He's playing safe too. Flashbang to force them back. Wait for his teammates to rotate over. And
good utility usage coming in from Prodigies. Another flashbang will go through from FNK. That gives Straxy a bit more room to maneuver with, try and get some damage, that early damage out. That's a big grenade to go through. TVS just chimes in 1 and 2, looking for number 3. He'll get it as well. F&K will let him have it, and that is a very, very good end of the first half round for Prodigies.
Yeah, it is. Playing incredibly well, aren't they?
They are indeed, and I just feel like that momentum shift it's been very evident when you've watched that first half, right? Those first couple of rounds, there's a few shaky moments from Prodigies, and all of a sudden they kind of, for lack of a better way of putting it, it feels like they've awakened, and now they start shifting into first gear, right? They start laying that momentum out. You can hear it in the comms as well. Let's keep doing that double up setup. Let's punish them for it. Let's be aggressive with it. And it's playing quite nicely into the hands of Prodigies, in fairness. 9-6 is the scoreline at the minute, and I mean, if anything to go by, when we've had maps like this where they've been punished to begin with and then they've recovered very quickly afterwards, there is a bit of a steamroll that starts to happen, and that momentum doesn't tend to shift. Time will tell, of course, as we head into the second half, but we're going to take a very small break while we wait for that to queue up.
Breaking that fast with a full clip of lyrics. Feel my spirit from your head to your speakers. Know where I'm headed, but riches. If you ain't with it, then good riddance. Popping and locking, I'll never be stopping. I'm talking, they'll never be breaking that sweat. I'm a George operator.
Welcome back
And
in.
we're back.
Yeah, we are. In
Indeed,
tandem. We are. We saw the Razer ad roll, and it just gives us a special mention as well. Thank you very much to the sponsors here, sponsoring this entire project: Razer, CSmoney, Refrag, and Scope.gg. There is a giveaway going on right now as well. Make sure you get yourselves involved in that. That will be live until this map ends. 9-6 is the current scoreline for the Prodigies. A slow start, but they awoke, as you quite rightly mentioned, Steve, in that CT half, transitioning over to T side. It's the less favourable one, but it's still going to be quite exciting to see what they can produce. It all begins with this pistol. It could be a foundation for their success here on this attacking side.
We need lots and lots of punishment, right, coming in from Prodigies. We heard that in their comms round. If they can continue that punishment into pistol, that gives them that fighting edge then to take, into double digits and perhaps beyond towards the later rounds. But things will start off towards the B site. See a little bit of damage laid out. Actually, no damage, in fact, laid out. I'm completely wrong. Talk about sacrifice. Was it the self destruction there, V-Dog?
It happens
Once again.
mate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean this push towards B, but you can see it's actually counted now towards that mid push. We've got 3 players stacked up ready to push in. TVS is good for the first against Skolosmiao. I've murdered that name about 6 times now, haven't I? In fairness,
I'm just going with Skilos because it's on the HUD, right? Oh, Larry. That's a good response onto FNK. Prodigies were completely pincered in towards this tunnel's position, but Madara is trying to make it a contest, trying to speak Yessirski's name, etch it into the pistol round of this second half. 2 versus 4. SBT is so far away from Straxy, who's not got much HP. So as a result, SBT is just trying to cause the damage and the disruption, trying to allow a safe passageway towards this B bomb site. Kill should come through for Leary, and it will. But more importantly, the Prodigies will get a bomb plant.
It's good for the economy. That should allot them or afford them a buy-in to this next round. Maybe a force-up, which is what we tend to see coming in from Prodigies after pistol round losses. But it's not over just yet. Straxy still has a little bit of HP to work with, and now none. As once again, Caster Curse kicks in.
No, you can be forgiven for that one, right? He's got not
Thank
much
you, I appreciate
HP.
that.
There's 2 players flanking from tunnels. He's looking the wrong way. It's not happening. But it's a little bit of a saving grace, and it's the reward that Prodigies even get the bomb down in the first place. Considering the position that they were in, It's not too bad. Good work by
It's like
SBT.
self-sacrifice from SBT, right?
Yeah.
To just throw himself on the line and be like, right, I'm going to cause as much chaos as you mentioned, as much damage as I can towards A, make him really, pull in and wrap around me over here. You do you got to do onto B side, but get that bomb plant down, and it affords them an AK into this round. In fact, we do have quite a fair bit of utility for them to use to get into site as well. Also, that's worth mentioning. It's that early utility usage from the CTs there towards B side. That'll be throwing that directly into tunnel to ward off any quick advances. Skilos will swing up. I think that was from a staircase, actually. Just pushed all the way deep into tunnel, cracked that first one, and then faded away immediately.
It's not going to deter the Prodigies, though. They're going to barrel out with some flashbangs. But Leary and Vert have the superior weaponry, so they're trying to do the damage. Nolan with a quick reply on the Tech 9, and the AK will also chime in for one more kill. Man advantage favours the CT side, but the Prodigies have placed that bomb down. A couple of incendiaries and smoke grenades to accommodate this retake approach. SBT, if he just tucks his head in, tries to bait in for Nolan, which... in fact, it's all going to have to be on Nolan. Good for the first, but his position has now been completely compromised. Trying to isolate the gunfights, but can't manage it. Prodigies will fall again, but it's a secondary bomb plant in 2 rounds.
Yeah, and 3 picks as well. I mean, that's 3 new rifles that need to be fetched in for the next round. Yes, the CTs are going to have money, but it's that, something that we tend to like to talk about quite a lot. It's that longevity perspective now, right? Like, how many rounds can you afford to drop 3 players on, back to back, more or less?
Yeah.
So that'll be 3 new rifles need to be purchased. That's a fair chunk of the economy damaged, but also a bomb plant for Prodigies to help them buy a little bit more up into this round.
Yeah, longer term, that round actually favours the Prodigies. Smoke to deny the molly allows SBT to peek safely in towards long. Leary, though, with the spam, gets greeted with a headshot. Cracked open. Prodigies reset now, a bit more of a standard default for them. Trying to see if they can get a pick back, because in the meanwhile, FNK has lost his life towards top mid.
Yeah, that pick coming from Skilos again. Again, I like this mentality from Yessirski. The immediate get the pick and immediate fade away. There's no need for them to overcommit onto those angles. Yes, it's nice you got one, but do you really want to cause more pain for yourself and hardship by getting dropped immediately off the back of it? Dara here is going to be first point of contact for Yessirski. As SPT cuts him out of the server again. Another good frag from him. He's big on entry frags. Quite a lot of the maps that we've watched from SBT, in fairness to him, but there is a second here where they kind of walk back to come away from pushing A, but the commit needs to happen at some point, right?
And Zero, tasked with a near improbable mission. Stay alive. I was trying to fend off the long push, although that spam nearly lines up the Prodigy players. Mid flank dealt with at the very least. 2 versus 2. It's looking a lot more doable for the CT side. Even Vert aggressing through the smoke. Catches TVS completely off guard. All onto Straxy. 1 versus 2. Knows that both of these players are rotated in from CT. Lines them up. But Skilos, again, what an impactful round. A hat-trick of kills and will secure this round for Yessirski.
Back to level pegging, 9-9 being the scoreline there into round 20. And yeah, 13-6 for Skilos as well, by the way. Like 13-16, sorry, even. Very nice from him, at least, anyway, for these retakes. What would be kind of nice, though, I feel, is just listening to the guys and see what kind of reaction we're going to get from them into this next round.
Yeah, I'll do the flashes.
Give me the smoke, give me your smoke.
I just come with you, right?
Yes, I will stop the molly because you are too late. Just push in.
He smoked mid. The molly deep, I'm holding passive.
Okay, ready?
The molly tunnel from lower.
Flashing.
He's left. Right, dead. He
Come in smoke. Smoke
Push
corner.
tunnel. Tunnel
Guys
lower.
are alone.
I'm
He's
in
in lower.
I can molly for car.
Chill.
He's in lower, guys.
Fine, guys.
Okay,
Advance.
okay.
Guys, I'm jumping down the pit.
Yeah,
One in
chill.
lower, so probably 3 guys A.
Yep.
Yeah, they have
Just,
tunnel.
let's go back and try to clear this lower guy. Leave TVS pit.
Okay, to swing with me, guys.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Getting
Fuck, I
close.
still-
Nice.
Nice, chill.
So me go
Come
back.
back to A, come back to A.
Yeah.
Nolan, stay there. Can you go inside tunnel, Nolan, and clear it? And if there's
Yeah.
nothing, just pressure B with Lur smoke. And we
So
contact.
can you someone
should
drop
be-
the
Tunnel, I don't
M4
see
down
tunnel.
to me?
Copy peeking from city,
I
yes.
did. I'm flashing one.
Could be
I will
far,
push
right?
the
Plenty
back.
behind me, plenty.
Coming
Yeah,
lower.
okay.
Facing.
I
You
didn't
have
see.
smokes?
I didn't hear any
Yeah, I can smoke
reactions on
deep.
it.
I can smoke
Guys,
deep.
maybe
Yeah.
A stack. I
Smoke
didn't
close,
Too
check
smoke
close
it.
deep.
smoke and walk. Too close
Short
smoke.
one, push short.
I did
Short.
deep. I did
Okay,
deep.
it's
Don't
okay.
Yeah,
close.
right.
I think dead.
Right click.
Walk, walk.
Molded mid.
Hold the smoke, someone.
I'll mulligan that.
City one.
In the smoke, in the smoke.
Dead.
Flashing in the back.
They smoke tight.
Watch out for another push.
Person tower. No, it's tight. What
Nice.
the fuck?
Postawiam
Nice.
agresję, kurwa, nie, that boss sam sebe.
So finally they are broke. They are kind of double eco, so they have force now.
Yeah, you can go
You
long.
want them for a reke? Oh.
Don't
Go long,
face
Nolan and
suicide.
Straxy.
You want them for a reke?
You want
They
to go
will
blue
have
box?
scouts.
Okay.
Blue box?
Good reaction round there from Prodigy and Speed Dog. I mean, everything kind of falls into their favour. Good executing towards A site as well. Also, you know, very well timed, making sure that they make the most out of that utility while they've got it available to them. And yet, there's still that mind game that's been played with Nolan straight over towards B site. You know, make some noise, give us that option, and he immediately calls straight away with the comms. No movement, no reaction. They're going to be A with you.
Yes, perfect. It's really good to hear that these players have got a good understanding of what's happening around them, even falling back to clear out that lowers push. We talk about reactions, and Zero has found one with the hand cannon. Man up. Prodigies know that the buy's a little bit broken. We heard that as well on the communications. Just trying to suss out whether there's going to be a stack at all, and then resetting. You see that bomb. It's already trying to make its longer journey over towards that B bomb site, and Zero has found another, and that's rifles that can be recovered for Yessirski.
Yeah, I said AK that falls into their hands ready to be used on this potential retake, but Vert is good for the first. He's not good for the second. TVS and Skilos will have their duel eventually, but Nolan's left as the last man standing. Not a lot of HP and not a lot of time really to get this bomb down, because he's going to get pincered in a second. I mean, you can see Madara there already in on site, waiting for that little bit of a peek, and he'll get it in the end, and Nolan falls.
Really nice couple of shots coming out from Zero. After getting the first contact as well towards Car, flashes himself out and even takes the fight. It's a very common trend we're seeing from this CT side, right? Just so aggressive, just pushing, trying to take the fights to the Prodigies. His confidence, well, it's working. Because in rounds like this, you definitely don't think the Yessirski should be coming out on top, but that's exactly what happens. It's too close to call right now. We're back to a level playing field.
We are indeed, and again, you know, to revert back to that comms round previous, you know, these guys knew that they broke their economy. I wonder what we're going to hear from the team.
Watch out lower, watch out lower.
He smoked tunnels.
One more
Wait,
you
Don't
don't.
pick
Yeah,
lower, I
retake
will
long.
flash.
Too long, guys. Only too long.
Okay, I'm flashing lower.
Yeah, left side.
I can break to flash you, Sebas.
Two
Too
tunnels.
lower, guys.
Too lower, too long.
Coming top mid, I'll
Try
pick
to do
lower.
kills, guys.
He might have gone T-spawn.
You saw him left side mid.
Did?
Are you?
Yep, down in
Both
mid.
dead.
He's... I'm pushing.
flashing
Come,
over.
come.
One more.
Come.
Yeah.
Bro, come. I'm gonna flash, we peek. Ready?
Yeah.
Flashing. Lower and close. Close.
Oh putain.
Nice try, man. Nice try.
Guys, listen, they push always lower, so from now we boost.
Bit of a weird moment there at bottom mid for a second. SBT and I think it was Leary in the end looking at each other for a couple of seconds, then going, okay, well you go there and I'll just follow in behind you. Sorry, it was Vert in fact in the end. But yeah, I mean, a lot to digest from that round, B-Dog.
Yeah, it's good that a pause is being called out now because we saw, and I was going to comment on it, but you can hear in the comms, it's like, okay, this is what they're doing. The tendency is to push lower tunnels. Here's how we're going to counter this. And the reaction does need to come in now. It's exactly right. Out of these 6 rounds, Prodigies have only won 1 of them. And it's a damning sight to see, especially if you're fans of them like we are. But they've had a chance to speak about it, reset. We probably won't see too much of a response in this one because it's just the Tech 9s. However, in that next rifle, I expect they've got a trick or 2 up their sleeve.
Been pushed here to put the AWP under pressure. Leary picks up the first against TVS. He's got skill loss there to help him, however. So they should start to make short work of this mid push. FNK.
Oh no.
I have no idea what's going on there. That's not good at all from either.
Oh!
Oh, okay. That is not what you want to see when you flip that camera, right? It's 2 players just staring each other down in the middle of a flashbang. What a nightmare.
Honestly, sometimes CS is a horror game. Like,
oh, it is 100%. Like, I find myself jumping more in CS than I do in like Tarkov or other games like that. Like, there's those moments where you're sat there with an AWP and you're like, okay, I've got my flanks covered, everything's good, and then all of a sudden there's a player that will pop up in front of you and you're just instant dead. Speaking of instant dead, that round is done and dusted with, however. We'll jump straight back into the action to round 23. A lot of trades happening here for damage, and they're kind of falling either way at the minute. 1-for-1 trades off multiple players across the entirety of the map, in fact, but we can see that short is the angle that we're looking to try to push there with TVS, but they have a second doubt and they start making their way towards mid. They know that there should be someone still lurking around here from CT, and FNK is great on that frag. Oh, Majaren's not too far behind, however, takes TVS down.
it's okay, it's still recoverable. 2 versus 2, bomb planted. Both these CTs are rotating in from tunnels. So FNK can peek his head up on the contact. I'll spot them out, but hang on a second. Yessirski quickly dispatch of the Prodigies after plant positions, and it's going to be 13 on the board for them. What I'm concerned about is, again, it's this lower tunnels push that gets completely squandered. Prodigies lose 2 players over there. And then I believe it was Skilos just pushes the entire way around T-spawn. Although he might get 1 kill later on in the round, he gets so much information for this CT side. And yeah, it is a concern.
It legitimately is. And I mean, like, you know, you only get a few rounds like that where you can really apply that pressure this late in the game as well. Also, you know, we're now heading into significantly dangerous territory for Prodigies, and unless things change, you know, we could be seeing this one going into Yessirski's hands quite nicely. But as you said perfectly, there's no answer for that lower tunnels. Oh, Leary there, quick on the trigger against SBT at top mid. He's immediately straight back into the action, looking for more off the back of it. You'll get up Nolan, and he fades away instantly.
How many times are we going to see a kill coming in for the CTs towards lower? It just feels like an inevitability at this point. Leary gets another one. Really good with the AWP. FNK left alone versus 4. Can recover the bomb. Position not yet compromised, but as the rest of Yessirski completely collapse on every single other area of Dust 2. It's going to be a matter of time before they realise exactly where he is. Madara's in a great position just to shut this one down.
Yeah, he's swinging into position ready as well to try and negate any kind of angle to push towards that long A. Should be point of contact any second now. FNK will actually convert the frag onto him in the end, which is Definitely a good prospect as far as continuing this round. 34 seconds left on the clock, however. Time is a ticking and he needs to start getting pressure onto a site if he's going to try and do anything with it. Or at least put yourself in a position where you can retain that AK, right?
Yeah, but Leary's playing close to the smoke. You've got Zero over towards spawn as well. These CT players do they love a push, don't they?
They really do.
It's
Yeah, they love
incredible.
that aggression.
Yeah,
You can see it from the replays as well, B-Dog. After that initial picks happened from Leary, he immediately pushed into lower tunnels. You know, it's instantaneous, that immediate reaction from them. But let's jump into a comms round and see what the guys have got to say for themselves.
They're taking long.
2 mollies top mid. 2 mollies top mid.
Don't see him car.
Two guys
Okay,
lower
let's
probably
check.
again.
We only have one.
Car. Dead.
Nice.
Let's go
I'm
long.
going
One
for
more A,
making
one B,
close.
two guys were lower.
Yeah, I'll give you my flash. Can you ready to flash
Side,
shot?
boys,
Some
fighting.
Okay, now I will do.
We only
Smoke
have one
right,
flashes.
You ready, guys?
you.
Wait,
We only have one smoke, guys.
I will hold right side.
Flashing.
I'm at it.
I'm holding, flashing right late. Flash. Boom. Could be behind.
Nading. There's up on side still.
You're going
Probably all there.
One CT.
Don't go
Elevator.
in,
in.
don't go in.
Elevators.
Two on A.
Behind.
Forward.
First guy might be behind.
Behind.
Long.
Okay, guys,
That's
listen.
unfortunate.
We will play a bit different now.
It's unfortunate. It's one of those rounds where the Prodigies go, okay, let's just leave lower tunnels alone. Let's just burst out towards long, try and take some contact, but the flank comes in once again, literally as they stop holding it as well, Steve. That is heartbreaking.
Massively so. I mean, you can see the round count there from the very top. You know, only one on this T side from Prodigies. It's not healthy, and they're now at match point. You know, this is all or nothing this round again, and every round after again is still all or nothing, of course. But they have to convert this one with. I mean, they've got somewhat of a buy in some. You know, they have some utility to use as well. Also, we switch back from player cams. You'll see what I mean. Hopefully. Unless I've been watching a replay and I'm behind you and I'm just self-sabotaging again as usual. But yeah, it's awkward times, very awkward times for Prodigies into this map. I mean, the potential for them to drop this one is there, of course. You know, unless by some miracle they're able to pull back 5 rounds back to back, right? And they're able to kind of wake up like we saw them do in the first half at this stage. But from the looks of the player cams, it seems like they're ready to call this one quits. To be honest with you, at least one or two of the players look a little bit defeated there. To be quite frank, B-Dog.
I mean, just trying to... We can't quite hear what the coach is saying. I think something along the lines of hold for this aggression, get the kill, and then accelerate off. Has to be perfect now for these Prodigy members. Thought he's going to go through that smoke. He still might. Skilos is in T-spawn. Of course he is. Why not?
Same old, isn't it? I mean, like something we've seen him do round after round. It's crazy. The amount of the lack of flank protection at the minute is definitely apparent. And yes, Yessirski are more than happy to just grab onto that and go for the ride.
There's so much information gathered as well because nothing's in towards mid. Skilos has killed the long player. Now he's even flanking towards tunnels. They've dealt with him, that's great, but look at these rotations from Yessirski. They're all here, they're all just ready and waiting. Leary just holding the edge of the smoke. He's spotting out their bottoms as they climb up towards Xbox, and that's it. Rotations can now come back over. Madara trying to deal with the short threat. And advantage already. The Yessirski, and it's just getting worse and worse for the Prodigies. It's a complete clean-up. And that'll be the game. Yessirski will take it. And defeat the Prodigies.
Will indeed. Yeah, they do. Not the same Prodigies we've watched for the last couple of matches, to be completely honest, as it would seem towards that second half. First half a bit shaky, woke up quite early on in the first half and managed to scramble back round after round. But yeah, second half, it just seemed to be a continuous onslaught of punishment, bar from the one round they picked up, of course, on T side.
Yeah, it was just that aggressive play, time and time again. If it wasn't in towards upper tunnels, it was actually in towards mid. I think 3 or 4 rounds in a row. It was just one Molotov towards top middle, completely separating the Prodigies off, and then there were just CTs just running up down suicide, flanking immediately. It's like, okay, what can we really do against that?
Exactly. There's not a lot you can do, in fairness, and I think we mentioned it time and time again. Unless you're dealing with that lower aggression, unless you're dealing with that kind of mid push that we saw come in quite a lot from Yessirski, you will have players like Kilos who will just continuously run through the back lines, get all that information. Once that information's gained, it's game over as far as that flank's concerned. And you immediately see the re-aggressions then on the retake coming in from Yessirski because they've got all that information gained. I think we have a winner for the giveaway though, and
Yep.
I've got the name here. It's foodvw_. Congratulations, my friend. You can pick yourself either a Viper V2 Pro or a Death Adder V3 Pro, and you also get the USPS minimal wear kill confirmed. One of my favorite USP skins. I can't speak English today. I've done multiple broadcasts back to back, and my brain is just like, take a day off, take a day off. It's going to happen at some point. But yeah, good pistol skin for you there, at least anyway, to start your skin collection off if you haven't already got a ton of them. Knowing most CS players, and I've seen B-Dog's skin collection, probably have quite a lot already. But yeah, not a bad mouse to pick up as well. Which one would you be going for, B-Dog, if you're looking at those 2 mice?
Oh, I think for my hand, it'd probably have to be the Viper V2 Pro. I've got little small hands here. So for me, Viper V2 Pro, it looks quite similar to the mouse I have now. So yeah, I'd definitely be picking that one up. Big congratulations again to foodvw_, the winner of the giveaway for this stream. And look, it's not all doom and gloom for the Prodigies, right? I mean,
it's not.
that was a 6-1 sort of standoff. Both of these teams 6-1 in ESEA intermediate. And, well, I want to hear a little bit more about how that one transpired. It looks like we've got SPT on the line. We can jump in and just have a little chat with him, see how things are doing.
Yo guys.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hey, SPT.
Not feeling good, but yeah. And you guys?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Yeah, I guess probably just to start off, the first question I can really ask you is obviously obviously wasn't the ideal result for you guys here on Dust 2. Were you? I guess you weren't really ready for that level of aggression on that CT side. What did the coach say? I know there was a pause in between things. How was it addressed, and how are you guys feeling?
But we tried to adapt, so to play more slow because yeah, they were pushing everywhere. So we wanted to punish them, but we still get surprised everywhere. Not doing the trade kills, like everything was going bad. So like everyone, we were like 3 versus 5 at the beginning, and it was super hard to win down, you know. So yeah, we just bad adapt, and we got surprised everywhere. But we were not
Something
prepared
to
at
build
the
on,
time.
though, of course. I was going to say something to build on, though, of course, for your next couple of matches, at least anyway. To anticipate that super aggressive play coming in from some of these teams as we start to get towards the end of the season. Because I guess every team's in the same situation, right? You're scrambling for those points to try and get as high up that leaderboard as you possibly can in Inters.
What? Sorry, what did you say? I lagged out, like my son bugged.
That's okay. That's okay. I
Sorry,
was saying, something to kind of work on for your next couple of matches. You got one on Thursday coming up, to be prepared for teams like that to be super aggressive because everyone's kind of scrambling for those points at the minute in Inters to try and get yourself as high up the leaderboard as you can.
Yeah, we'll try to prepare more for that. Like maybe in practice, we'll try to play against aggressive people, find some Russians pushing everywhere, so we get prepared for it. But yeah, we need to train against those guys because every time, it's like a little bit a problem when we play against aggressive people. So we need to adapt. We need to find a new solution for that. We're gonna find it. I think tomorrow is gonna be fixed.
Yeah, we've seen that with you guys before. I mean, obviously, Vertigo at the very start of the season was a shaky beginning, and then within 24 hours, your gameplays have completely changed, your style has completely changed, and you've won matches back to back since. So I have no fear that by Thursday, when myself and Jammer sit down to watch your next game, that we'll see a completely revitalized Prodigy side into the next map.
Yeah, sure. We're gonna work. You will see. You will see. It's one
Definitely.
mistake,
Anything else?
not another.
Do you have anything that you want to say to the fans watching, yourselves and your family, anyone that's watching right now?
Sorry for today, guys. It's bad performance from all of us, but we'll change it for tomorrow and the next officials. Thanks to follow us, to support us, and thanks for the interview, guys.
That's
No
all right.
problem. Anything else you want to add, B-Dog, before we let SBT crack
No,
on?
I don't want to keep SBT any longer. Just commiserations to you. And you're right, it's just a really good learning experience. You can go back. There's a lot to learn from that game. So best of luck for the rest of the season. Take care. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you soon. And we'll have a happier interview next time around.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.